Kaizenvest, I consider it as one of the largest funds in the education space.
We are investors. We are different from others because we have a thesis and a razor sharp focus on a particular space, which is future of work, future of learning. We have to move out of the education paradigm and move into this new learning paradigm. That's what I tell people. Future is not education, future is learning.
In your point of view and industry that you come from, how are you looking at AI?
I think my hypothesis of future being learning has never been more relevant in the age of AI. What is becoming more and more clear in this special AI age is one of the most important resource is going to be human capital. There will be very little guidance anybody will give you in the job market. It will be like use ChatGPT, right? Use Perplexity, right? Figure it out, right? That is what I think the future of work will look like.
Hello, our today's guest is a partner at Kaizenvest, an education-based emerging markets asset manager. Our guest is an engineering grad and an MBA, and has a strong experience in project management, financial analysis, and is deeply passionate about education-based early startups, working across emerging markets in Africa and Asia. Let's welcome Mr. Gaurav Jain to the podcast. Thank you, Gaurav, for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Gaurav, you've done your engineering, right? And you've done finance, MBA in finance. You say this is a typical combination, but I really find it interesting, right? Because engineering, you're supposed to think in a particular way. You're always thinking 3D, three-dimensional, right? And then you get into finance. I know finance has its own dimensions, and you're supposed. But explain me this combination, and apparently this is very common, right?
Yes, it is. So growing up, you're trying to figure out which is the most high-paying job I can get, and it ends up being in the finance field generally, or consulting. Those are the typical top preferences where people who at least have some strong academic background try to aspire to. So.
You were a good student.
I was
academically
I was
strong.
In fact, that was the only thing I was good at.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, yeah, that's what I want to pursue, and having a strong grasp of numbers, I think, is important if you want to go into the whole finance field. So that's why I think if you do engineering, it helps build your logic, familiarity with numbers, and also the ability to work really hard. And I think most engineering students would know it's a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
And then you do an MBA to understand the business language more than anything else, concepts of finance, and hopefully then you are able to get into the finance industry in some form or in consulting of some form. And that's why a lot of people generally end up pursuing that. So I knew early on that, yes, finance is something that seems to come more naturally to me. Although I was good at the creative stuff, but numbers and all were generally something that I naturally tended towards. Then when I did my MBA and we had option of learning HR, marketing, finance, I realized marketing I was really bad at. But finance I was still very strong. So it kind of reinforced my natural preference, which I already knew I had. And that's when I just decided I'm just going to go down that path.
So you did your, you said your MBA from one of the Bombay colleges, right? NMIMS.
Yes.
And where were you placed after that?
So that's one of the funny stories. So I graduated in 2009 and my placement season was in 2008. I think 1 day or 2 days after the Lehman Brothers crash.
Yeah.
So essentially nobody came. The only people who came to campus were public sector banks. And I think I was kind of sure that I don't want to get into a public sector bank. So I started looking for other opportunities in terms of what I can do. And it was a real crisis. People saying this is job loss will be coming. Job loss was there. Right? There were no jobs. Nobody was hiring. It was
hit with reality out of college, right?
So I tried to do whatever I could to build up my CV, to differentiate myself from the others. So I ended up looking for internships, working while I was still finishing my 6 months of college. And that's when I met Sandeep. who was a founder of Kaizenvest. That's the place I'm a partner at. So I interviewed with him. He said, "Come join me," and I worked with him as an unpaid intern for 6 months. After I used to attend college in the morning and then evening go and work at his house, coffee shops. Building the concept of Kaizenvest. Learning from him. What it really means to do something like a fund for education in India. So it was like almost another college for me. And I was there because I got to interact with some of the most amazing people. When they were telling me what to do, what not to do, it was like, okay, I really like it. So that's why I continued doing that for 6 months. And then when I was about to graduate, I told Sandeep, who's the founder of Kaizenvest, that listen, I'm graduating and I need a paid job. I'm a university silver medalist. So he said, okay. I said, I've found my job. So I went to him prepared that, I've actually found a job, which is at a bank. And he said, okay, it's a private bank, right? A 9 to 5. I said, yeah. He said, okay, 6 o'clock, you come to my house, we'll continue working. I did that for 2 months, where I used to work with a private bank for morning 9 to 5, 6 o'clock, go to Sandeep's house, work till midnight. And then when he said that, okay, now my office is starting, quit your job, I did. Mainly because for me, he was willing to pay me at that time. And for me, it was like, okay, great. I'm going into a paid college. Because...
But nothing beats that, right? You find something by chance or by, whatever, however the, universe put you over there. But then you found that you like this. And then if you get an opportunity to work there, best
I can tell
option
Sandeep that now, that even if you would have not paid me, said join me for another 3 months without pay, I would have done that.
Yeah, of course.
Because
makes sense.
Like the kind of people I was meeting and learning from, I would not have had access in a large...
And how old were you that time? You were 22, 23?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I just wanted to... I knew I wanted to get into the finance industry. So this was in that. And I just wanted to learn as much as I could.
Yeah.
And this was giving me more learning than any large corporation would have allowed me to get in that short period of time. Because it's a small team, you're doing everything.
Yeah.
So you are exposed to all aspects of the business. And you know what? The onus in such an organization is on you. How much can you learn fast?
Yeah.
So you need a little bit of that drive of wanting to learn more and not, listen, you have to do XYZ and follow things. So I think you need that little personality.
Kaizen was also a startup.
Yes, it was. Right? We were setting up at that time, yes.
So even I feel, like any young graduate who's MBA fresh out of college, if you get to work with a startup, your learning curve will be so awesome that, you can never go and learn that in a big corporation. I'm not saying big corporation jobs are bad, but the learning pace is completely different. So
absolutely. Like I said, it's ultimately about the people, right? Who are you working with? And this was this is actually a very good piece of advice when I was doing my internships when I was in college. I got from my mentor in the organization. They said, and this is still valid today, and I tell the people I work with, the analysts we hire as well, that in general in life, you will meet 3 types of people, roughly speaking, in a professional setting. There will be A category people, B category people, and C category people. A category people are the people who are amazing. They know they're great. They're generally secure. And they will help you progress by helping you learn, helping you, teach you things, and not worried about, this person will then outperform me and take my job.
They're not insecure.
They're not insecure, right? They are very easy to spot, right? The C category people are also very easy to spot. They are generally just coasting. They're trying to do the minimal, right? Not really as good in doing things. B are the hard ones. They're generally good people, but they're not as good. But they're also a little insecure. And they will probably help you a little bit, but they will also throttle you a bit.
Correct.
And he said, never get stuck with a B person.
Hmm.
right? So always, no matter which organization you are working in,
Hmm.
right? What title, etc., just see who you're working with.
Yeah.
And I had, because of that learning, I had the foresight that, okay, you know what? I have this opportunity to work with not one, but like 4 amazing A category people.
Hmm.
So I was just like, yeah, this
I
makes
think it's a
sense.
great advice, because with A category people, of course, the learning and everything is so awesome. But even C, right? Because they don't take any responsibility. So you have to do their work as well, right? B is tricky, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you wouldn't know whether you're being helped, not being helped. I think great
So
advice.
yeah, so you have to look at it almost like a negative. Is he a A?
Hmm.
If this person is not an A, you're not good enough A, then probably is in
It's
either B or C. In
C.
either case, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So if, and that is what startups give you the opportunity to
Yeah.
do, right? Is actually interact with and work with closely with very good A category people.
Hmm.
And
You're
that
highly
that
driven, motivated.
motivated, and
Hmm.
and again, it's generally a small organization, so
Yeah.
a lot of the bureaucracy of large organization is not
Is
there.
not there, and you can't hide behind anything,
Exactly.
right? It's right there, right? You're working, you're not working, things delivered, not delivered, everything is in the open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So from a learning opportunity perspective, it is one of the best things. One of the reasons I stuck around so long and I'm still motivated is just the learning opportunity. That's the best thing.
Yeah. And Kaizenvest, uh, I consider it as one of the largest funds, working with in the education space, right? Um, so it's I think it's there. We work with a lot of schools, colleges in the Middle East. In the Far East, in India. Do you want to talk about? See, because I'll tell you, this podcast is mostly watched. It's for students, parents, and people from the education industry, right? So, if you can shed a light into what is the sort of work you guys are doing, and what are
Yeah.
the sort of people that you like to partner with, right? So,
Sure. So I would say we have to expand, and what we like to say. So we are investors. So we are a typical PVC kind of fund, but we are different from others because we have a thesis and a razor sharp focus on a particular space, which is future of work, future of learning, right? And the way we call it as human capital development,
correct.
and that is naturally associated with education as well. And the way we kind of define the whole space, right? And because most people think of it as schools and colleges, right? It's not just that. This is a much bigger ecosystem. Schools and colleges are, of course, a very big part of it, but there is so much more. And the way we did, and this was a map that we drew, and today is used by a lot of people, is there is generally core, parallel, ancillary, right? Core and parallel are education delivery type of businesses or entities, right? Where somebody is imparting some form of learning. So this could be core, which is your traditional schools, colleges, which is the core of any economy. There's parallel, which are again education delivery, but slightly on the more informal side. So that is your preschools, daycares. You have your test preparation, tutoring, skills training, vocational skills,
etc.
you have corporate training, all of that. And then you have ancillaries, which are the ecosystem players, or what we call as education enablers, because the core guys still need products and services to be able to scale what they do. So this could mean right from technology, content, curriculum, finance, housing, all of that. So we invest across these segments in emerging Asia, which is India plus emerging Southeast Asia, so countries like Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand as well. So Malaysia is also one of those places. So that's where we focus on, and we look to kind of partner with, I would say, entrepreneurs, because we are on the for-profit side. So we end up playing or partnering with people who are doing business in the more for-profit side, with people who have a very razor-sharp focus on outcomes, right? Who are driven and have evidence-based and are driven by a certain mission of what they want to do. And they are hyper-focused on scaling that. And then we are good partners for them because we understand the space. We come with a lot of insights and networks and that. But we can't do what the entrepreneurs can do.
Yeah.
Right? So we are looking for people who are actually solving a big problem in this space. And God knows there are many problems in this space.
Definitely.
And we are, again, one of those same ecosystem players who are there to help really passionate people solve big problems.
So it's almost like you become you partner with these entrepreneurs, and you sort of become a banking partner. If in layman terms, if I were to use it, like somebody who's there to give them access to capital so that they can go and do whatever, just keep on doing whatever they're best at.
Yeah, so I would say more like, I would say equity partner, not so much debt provider.
Not so much
debt, right? So we would come in, we would be as true partners. Listen, we are in it for both the profit and the loss.
And the loss, yeah.
Right?
So that way you're different from a bank.
Yeah, we don't do that. And one of the things that sets us apart is we will come and play an active role in helping you achieve success. Right? So we are not going to be like a bank, ki tum paisa dete raho wapas, and there is, then don't call me. No,
so it's a true partnership. It's a proper partnership. I really like the way you sort of explain the whole education system. You said, it's core and then support and ancillary. And this is what my quest in this podcast is like, what is education, right? Like I keep calling brand owners, people who run schools, people from, different spaces. And my whole quest is that how do each of these people define education? I really liked what you touched upon very briefly, but I want to know more your personal view, what education has to be, and even from your company point of view.
So I think education is actually a very old paradigm, right? I think we have to start moving from education to learning. And there is a difference, right? Education, I would say, is the old paradigm, which was considered, like when we use the word education, right? What comes to your mind? It's like a classroom, a teacher teaching the students, generally a one-way dialogue.
Correct.
Not dialogue, one-way monologue, right?
Monologue, yeah.
Right, where it is a traditional, very time-bound, 40-minute period, a 1-hour lecture, right?
Irrespective of school, college, it's the same. Right? The format is the same.
Where one person is telling the other person what they should know, right? That is what comes to your mind when you say education. We have to switch from that paradigm because that's, I think, gone. In today's world, it's not relevant. That's why we like to say it's learning. Because what is learning? Learning is not a very passive process. It's actually an active process where you actively go out and you master a skill or master certain knowledge.
Correct.
Right? It is not time bound. Right? Not a 40-minute period. Learning is like, it can be lifelong. It can be for 1 month. It can be for 1 hour. Right? So we have to move out of the education paradigm and move into this new learning paradigm. And that's what I tell people, that the future is not education. Future is learning. And that's why we would like to start using the word learning more and more. I tell people also, start using learning.
I'll have to change the name of my podcast.
You should. But then you
learning matters.
But give credit to me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really like it. You very simply just expanded the whole idea of education, right? Because learning, then you can get into so many aspects of learning. Then the tech part fits in very easily. Like alt schools, everything starts plugging in so easily because then you're not looking at it from a very narrow education one way. So I really like it. So
so that's what I at least I'm a big proponent of. We use the word learning now, and we try to encourage people to start using the paradigm of learning and not so much the old paradigm of education.
So I mean, I like it the way you think about it. You think your company also thinks?
This was by the way, this is what we propose. Right? After a lot of brainstorming in terms of what is it that we want to do, because we are our nature of our business is forward looking. We want to know what can be done in the future, what will happen in the future, how can things be better in the future.
Hmm.
And this was one of the insights that, again, this is not mine, this was Kaizenvest insight, right?
Hmm.
That the future is learning, future is not education,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And the faster we change our paradigm, the faster we will reach that goal.
Yeah, align with the right people. Yeah.
Yeah, and you start thinking also the right way, no?
Hmm.
If you always think education, you always think, oh, okay, classroom, this report card, etc.
Yeah.
But if your goal is learning
Hmm.
and not education, and then automatically the incentives and goals also change.
Correct. India has this vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, right? And I definitely feel that education or learning has so much big role to play if we were to become a developed country, right?
Not
you
it cannot become without
it, right? So
it is
yeah,
it is a core fundamental pillar of
thanks for phrasing it correctly. So my point is, you work not only with Indian companies, and you also work with other countries, which you said. So do you feel that other countries are doing something different? Is there some learning that we can take as a country from, say, how differently Indonesia or Malaysia would be doing it?
So every country does some things very similarly and some things very differently based on the local context. I'll give you an example, right? And this is where, let's say, emerging markets are slightly different from developed markets. Too often when we are reading stuff and we are incorporating stuff, we are taking ideas generally from the more developed Western markets. Now they have a different local context. They are at a different level of prosperity, access, etc. Right? Whereas emerging markets are at a different level, and that's why, again, this is something. These are all tools we've used to navigate this space. Is we generally have a triangle which says access, quality, relevance. Places like India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, generally the problem that we are trying to solve more often than not is about access, where we give access to learning to a lot of people. That's the problem that everybody's trying to solve. Whereas in the West, access has already been solved, right? To some extent, quality has already been solved also. Especially if you start going into the Nordic countries, right?
Yeah.
There, they on a higher order of relevance, right? How is this learning going to be relevant for me in doing good for the world, right? You ask a person in a tier 3 city in India, they're like, listen, I want just a good school,
right?
In
the neighborhood.
Then we'll figure out, right? So I would say there is a lot of learning about how people in emerging markets are solving for access. I'm very glad to kind of see that India actually, to a large extent, access problem has been solved. Right? We are in that quality problem, right? So we are seeing good examples of how.
What is the third part of the triangle?
Relevance.
Okay.
Right, which is like the top, if you see, right? That's like in a Maslow's hierarchy. That's like your self-actualization, right? Where you start finding purpose and stuff, right? Where access and quality both are really good, and now it's relevant. In India, I would say, to large extent, access is solved, at least in the, I would say, schooling space, right? Higher education, still a little bit more time to go. But what I learned from some of the other markets, and this is another thing, is we need access to quality and how to solve for that. And that means that there is different levels of quality at price points. And this is what I was saying, that we try to say, oh, Harvard is great education, right? We want that level of education. You can't deliver that level of education at the price points which Indians can afford. Right?
Which brings me to something which, we'll try to touch upon and not dwell too much into it. But this whole, I understand that you said a lot of part about access is already done, but when governments people who are designing for masses, when they think, they always think that, I think it's also enshrined in the constitution that education has to be free, right? Now, uh, education is a right and it has to be free. It's not for profit, right?
It is not. No, I don't think it says it's
Yeah.
supposed to be free, but
Not free, but not for profit. Sorry, not free.
those, yes,
Yeah.
it's okay. So that's just the rules that the government has formed.
Yeah. So
around that.
so my point, I don't want to go into why the rule is there and all that,
Yeah.
but I want to bring it more to the practical problem with that, right? Because when they design it, they'll always design it for the
Yeah.
lowest common denominator, right? So they'll say, okay, can I make a school like this, basic, so at least people will get access to education, right? But the minute you start going to, say, semi-urban areas or urban areas, right, things change, right? So uh, people who live in Bombay, Delhi, the top cities,
Yeah.
they don't have uh, problems that a person in rural area is facing, right? Their expectation from institution, education, or say a school or a college is completely different. Uh, Now, the minute we start talking about, I completely get the point that if you want to give something really high quality, there you have to invest, right? And because there's so much disparity from the haves to the not haves, having this sole focus of, I mean, is there a way out? Because I find this as a catch-22 situation. Like, in one hand, you want to give it, like, government wants to get involved and do free, and then there is one hand, people like me who also work in the education sector, I want to give like high quality, but I know it comes with a price, right? And if I were to go and attract capital, and then there's a price for that as well. So what in your head is, and how other countries are solving it, right? Are they lax about it? Are they doing some sort of PPP projects where they feel, okay, I mean, is there a nice way out? I know things are happening, and
Yeah.
there is you work in a certain way. Like, I mean, there are a lot of private players working in a certain way, but I feel this whole push about keeping it at a low cost, I find that a little bit challenging.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, yes, there is a role for the government to play in this space because a large part of the country is still very poor,
Agreed.
right? And
Yeah.
they generally don't have the paying capacity that people like you and me would have,
Yeah.
but they should still have access to all the tools needed for them to kind of help improve their lives, lives of their family. I'm a strong believer that learning is going to be one of the biggest tools for doing that, and our entire society values that and knows that. And the government is playing a role in that. Now the question then becomes is, then should the government only focus on the people who can't afford it, and then for the people who can afford it, let them kind of just go out in the free market and kind of
Figure it out what they want.
figure
right?
out what they want, right? To some extent, we have a hybrid system where the government is quasi allowing it because you do have very expensive international schools, you have some very expensive, universities and colleges already there, right? So
Correct.
those also still do exist.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Now, the point is, do we want to now accelerate or encourage more of that? I think that's a call that.
But there are also you were giving me an example before we started the show that there are a lot of entrepreneurs giving back to the society, right,
Yeah.
and doing very high quality, as high as they can go at the price
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there are a lot of people doing it now. This structure sometimes it stops some of those people from pursuing this as a venture that they want to make a career out of. Right? It ends up encouraging them. Okay, this is something I will do on the side as my give back.
Yeah.
Right? From what I have seen is just generally people when they are focused on solving problems and scaling, they're generally able to have more impact than if this is something that I will give part of my attention to.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is what I was saying, that if the government does want to allow people to do that and it sets up the rule book saying that, listen, you can do this,
Yeah.
right? But you should not be taking advantage of people, etc., etc., which
is
is fair,
agreed, yeah,
right?
which is fair.
But then allow people to make this their career,
Yeah.
right? Where you say, no, go forward. Like you set up the best quality institutions. Trust the people that they will cater to the needs of the people. Why will I, who wants to pursue a career in this, make this my venture for the next 20 years, create something that will not cater to the population? Right? I will go out of business.
Correct.
Right?
Agreed.
So have protections and guardrails so that bad actors don't do bad things.
Yeah.
At the same time, maybe see if you want to trust, at least to some extent, some people to see if this experiment works. I would support that.
Yeah.
But
Do you think they have it differently in other countries?
Yeah. So like in Philippines, they have allowed for-profit higher education. To the extent there are even listed colleges and universities in Philippines.
Okay.
So
and do you think that has corrupted the entire education
no, I
ecosystem?
don't think so.
Yeah, it just helps, right?
I think the fact if you are actually listed, the burden of compliance increases.
Right?
Yeah, you can't be playing fast and loose with any kind of rules.
Correct.
There is more scrutiny on you. You are supposed to make more disclosures. So it actually encourages better governance than hiding behind some, undisclosed, not for profit and with muddy accounts.
It
right?
makes so much sense. Yeah.
So yes, there are, I would say, those are some positive things that I would say philosophically I learned. Oh yeah, this actually is actually kind of counterintuitive. Where encouraging them to list, make them more transparent.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things about life are like that. They're counterintuitive. People. I'm saying, their government is also us, right? We are part of the whole decision making, if not directly, then indirectly. That we think of the worst part of the society, and then because we want to protect the majority of the society, we make rules so that the bad actors don't hijack the whole thing. So I completely get it from
which I agree with. It should be the case.
It should be the case.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, you have to protect the society from the bad actors. Yeah. But the point is that in this case, also think about the good actors who are trying to, because if we have an aim that this is what we want to achieve by in another 20 years, then we can't be using the same old systems which have been happening for a long time, right? And I think, I'm not pro or against any parties, but I think there has been some really rapid movements in a lot of different sectors. I think education also needs a little bit of focus and a little bit of rewiring, if not an overhaul. Right?
No, I agree. And I think we do need to, I would say, radically change the structure of our whole learning education system, whatever we want to call it, if we want to, let's say, achieve our goal of being a dominant superpower. Because I think what is becoming more and more clear in this special AI age is one of the most important resource is going to be human capital. So unless you're going to have a population that is going to be able to intellectually compete with these other superpowers like China and US, right? You can't achieve that. And that does not happen by accident.
Yeah.
Right? That will happen if you truly have a focus on wanting to be that. I'll give you an example of this is what I heard and I'm so don't quote me, right? But I think I read this in a newspaper. Like, it's a very interesting thing that when DeepSeek got launched, right? China, I think, kind of confiscated the passports of those guys so that they can't leave the country and so that other countries can't poach them. Other companies in the US can't entice them to leave that, and because they'll do that, they'll give them $100 million or $1 billion deals.
Is it a fact or it's some conspiracy theory?
This is what I read.
You read it somewhere, okay.
But I don't know. But it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And why would they do that?
They want the best brains to get out of the country.
Yes, because that is valuable.
Yeah.
That human capital is valuable. It is potentially $1 trillion economy for them.
So
And
I read it somewhere, on your same point that Indians built the American tech companies and Chinese built China, right? And when I read
yeah,
about H-1B visa, and all the issues that are coming up, plus I think Canada and US this year have rejected more Indian students than what they traditionally have over the years. But also another point to this is I have a lot of friends and family, because I'm of that age where my daughter's in college, and I know of people who want to send their children abroad, but most of the children don't want to go out,
yeah,
right? They are like, no, we want to be here.
yeah,
And do you think this H-1B controversy or this they're not giving enough seats to Indians is going to be a blessing in disguise, or you have another
so it can be
point
a
of view?
blessing provided we as a country take this as an opportunity
Hmm.
to maybe do a few reforms which allows these people
Hmm.
to then flourish in
Hmm.
India, right? We make it easier, reduce the burdens of regulations,
Hmm.
right? Give them the freedom to make mistakes also,
Yeah.
which a lot of time US allows, right? There's
Hmm.
also dignity of labor,
Hmm.
which is a lot in the West, which is so
Yeah.
far in India not there, right? We have to respect them. That's not a government problem. We as a society
Yeah,
problem.
it's a society problem. Yeah.
And we also have to change our outlook and encourage that. So
But somewhere, it's what you're saying is like, in US or in some of the most Western countries, it's a standard, right? Dignity of labor.
yeah,
In India, it's there, but it's only at a very, very
sorry.
small layer. I'll give you an example.
It's not there for the masses.
For masses, it's not,
Not
there.
there, yeah.
Definitely not there. But I'm saying there is a small layer. It is happening, and it's happening at a
Yeah.
very different level. We once met at Bougie,
Yeah.
and we had a coffee. You've seen the crowd there, the guys who serve, they are very young people, right? And most of them, I've not seen anybody talking to them badly. And these are young kids who are going to college or, studying on the side. And they feel it's fine, if I'm working at a good cafe, meeting the right kind of people. So it's happening, but at a very different
Yeah.
level, right? It's not happening at the mass level. I agree with
And
you.
that's what we also need to do, because people don't want to leave, right? Why will people want to leave India, leave their family, leave their home, leave their friends, right?
Just uproot yourself.
Yeah, right. But they're doing it because they think that they will get a better economic opportunity there, with which they can improve the lives of their loved ones at home. And there's a reason why when they go there, we get a large amount of remittances back to India, right? They are going there to improve the lives of the people that they love.
Yeah.
Right, and also that also helps the country as well. But if we are giving them the same opportunities here, they will not want to leave.
Yeah, agree.
So I think, by the way, let me say that I'm not. We have made a tremendous amount of progress from the time where even when I started working 16 years back to now, right? In terms of the optimism that people feel that no, I want to stay here and at least take advantage of what I can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that shift happening already, but we just need to maybe 5x, 10x that.
Yeah.
And it has to be a very, almost like an inviting thing. The government says, come, do this.
Yeah.
I'll give you a very good example, right? Like this is a suggestion, and I was in one of these forums when I was telling them, and people were talking about why isn't India producing any new Nobel laureates? Why don't great research happen in India? And I told them that you have to change your entire structure, because education has, I would say, two aspects. One is knowledge creation. Second is knowledge dissemination. Today, all we are focused on is knowledge dissemination, which means go to college, learn, get a degree out. Right? Yeah. The research part is not adequately structured properly. And what I tell them is, I told the universities, you want patents to come out of your universities, right? And then you are telling people, come do PhD with us, and by the way, pay me the fee. Why?
Yeah.
Right? If your goal is to produce patents, you invite
the best
talented
minds,
people, you pay them.
Yeah.
Right? You say, you come here, we will do everything possible for you to do research,
Hmm.
also knowing very well that out of the 20 people that you may invite to do this, 19 will fail,
Hmm.
right? That, but you are pursuing that one.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people feel scared. Oh, I got him, I paid him, but after 10 years of research, kuch nahi hua. Right? Or is that a waste?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be afraid of that.
Hmm.
Because you know what? If that person does that and he fails,
Hmm.
right? That is also knowledge creation.
Yeah.
Right? That is what people are going to base the next level of research
That
on.
this doesn't work. Don't
This
do
doesn't
this.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that requires a structural change.
Hmm.
There, you have to openly say, come here, listen, come, stay in campus, there will be housing for you, we will give you a stipend,
Hmm.
here's your laboratory with all the equipment,
Yeah.
research, right?
Hmm.
Here, canteen, here, eat food also,
Eat
don't
food,
worry
yeah.
about
Yeah.
your food also, just worry about the research you're doing. And then comes the dissemination, which I believe should be as cost efficient and fast as possible.
Hmm.
Why do you need 4-year degrees?
Hmm.
Right? You have to change your focus on input to output.
Hmm.
If a person is able to learn what they need to learn to practically do what they're being trained for in 2 years, 3 years,
Let
allow them to do
yeah.
it. Reduce the cost for them, reduce the barrier for them to learn.
I think with the new education policy 2020,
They are doing that, yes.
there's some reforms coming.
Which is a very
You
good thing.
yeah.
I think the
Policy is very well framed.
It's exactly, I agree with that. Like, especially in the higher ed, what the new policy
drop
is doing.
drop out of subjects,
Exactly. I think it's a great progress that we
Yeah.
are making. And I really commend
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
just that implementation,
system.
right? We need to start implementing it.
I think
We have
it's
to start,
just a paradigm shift.
yeah.
Like I said, it will come with intentionality.
Hmm.
Today, like, for example, if you want to win a gold medal in Olympics,
Hmm.
right? You can't say, okay, athletes come, I'm your coach, pay me,
Mhm.
and then get your gold medal,
Good.
right? No, you come, we will train you.
Train you.
You are the talent,
Yeah.
and we will train you, give you everything possible
Hmm.
for you to achieve that gold medal.
Hmm.
That is the mindset that you need
Hmm.
for the knowledge creation piece.
Hmm.
And we also know that of the hundreds of athletes that get trained, right?
Hmm.
99% will not win.
Yeah.
But when that one person wins, right? When you have that Abhinav Bindras of the
Yeah.
world, right? Imagine how transformational it is for the full country.
Hmm.
How proud the full country feels,
Yeah.
right? Imagine how it unlocks the imagination of all the people that listen, this is possible.
Yeah.
You just need that few people
Hmm.
to change the world,
Yeah.
change India. And that happens if you are going to be deliberate about it.
Hmm. I think it's a great way of putting this, that why our universities or higher education is not at par with, when people say why we are not in the top 100. I think you've given a great way out. If people start thinking differently, I think it won't. And India is very quick to adapt to anything
Yeah.
which is practical and which, like, how much time did it take for India to reach a certain number on mobile connection
Yeah.
or internet connection, right? And I was on one of the panels and I was talking to somebody from the education ministry and I said, we need to, like, if I may use, for lack of better word, put the system on steroids, right? Let's get it done fast.
Yeah.
And he tells me that, Jitu, the problem is in our sector, everything is one step at a time. I'm like, I'm completely disagree with you because the day lockdown hit us,
Yeah.
the entire nation went online. What did you do different for everybody to go online? Did the government do anything? Or, it was the need, right? So everybody went online and like immediately, like people were learning, right? So I think if there's, as you said, the intention is there, the will is there, then things will definitely change.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe intention is there.
Yeah.
I really believe. I think there are very good people
Yeah.
doing very good work, have the right intention, right direction. I think the sense of urgency is lacking,
Hmm.
right? Like it's like and I think AI should be a wake up call
Hmm.
where US has their models, China has their model, we don't.
We don't.
Why don't we?
Hmm.
It is now almost a national emergency, I would call it, right?
Hmm.
You have to reform. You need now more than ever
Hmm.
to accelerate the development of human capital in India.
Hmm.
It is no longer about
Yeah.
a nice to have. It is now a national security, I would point of view. It has to be taken that way.
I think few of the critical things we've already done, like Navik coming in, or like what is truly essential. But you're right, AI is also essential. We don't have a
Yeah.
own model. Gaurav, you touched upon something really interesting, AI, and I think AI is the uh, buzzword or flavor of the season. Everybody's talking AI. And in your point of view, and in this industry that you come from, how are you looking at AI, and where do you think AI and education, how is it going to marry each other, and how does it propel us into the next phase of learning?
Yeah. So I think my hypothesis of future being learning has never been more relevant in the age of AI. Today you have access to godlike kind of power,
Hmm.
right? In that little computer that you have with access to so much knowledge and contextual knowledge now.
Hmm.
How you use it
Hmm.
is going to be what differentiates somebody, from, let's say, being sometimes even unemployed
Hmm.
to being super wealthy. And in our context, there are two things. One is, how will it impact what we teach in classrooms of people will learn?
Hmm.
Second is, how will it impact the, I would say, the way teaching is conducted in the first place?
Hmm.
I would say I don't think is going to be super disruptive to the way people learn
Hmm.
in terms of schools, colleges. I don't think AI is really going to fundamentally disrupt schools or colleges,
Hmm.
right? Uh, if something happens to them, it won't be because of AI,
Hmm.
right? But what they will all have to do is teach people how to navigate the world in the age of AI.
Hmm.
Uh, and one of the things that I think will have to happen, and it is happening to some extent, is s- both schools and colleges will have to move from learning to teaching people how to learn.
Hmm.
Let me explain that a little bit. You have access to all the knowledge,
Hmm.
and I think what will happen in the job market is you will be expected to do multiple tasks at
Hmm.
the same time. You are no longer going to be expected to be just, let's say, a number cruncher.
Hmm.
And if you're going to be doing two or three things together, you have to very quickly learn those two or three adjacent skills relevant to what you are doing,
Hmm.
and learn to do that on the fly in a
Hmm.
very short period of time. There will be very little guidance anybody will give you in the job market. They will be like, use chat GPT, right? Use
Yeah.
perplexity, right?
Yeah.
Figure it out,
Figure it out. Yeah.
right? That is what I think the future of work will look like.
Hmm.
Now, if that is what I think the future of work will look like, schools and colleges will have to prepare people to operate in that manner.
Hmm.
So, from saying that, you know, come prepared from this textbook, chapter 5, page 4, right?
Hmm. Typically, yeah.
Yeah, that is what happens in doing. They'll be like, we will be doing this in context with this.
Hmm.
You will have to go figure out how to learn both,
Hmm. So
right?
you think more multidisciplinary or
And more importantly, rather than spoon feeding,
hmm.
they will have to encourage people to explore and teach them how to use these different tools
Hmm.
to reach that end goal.
Hmm.
It will not be so much of just the mastery of the knowledge, which
Hmm.
in very traditional ways was just rote learning, that I
Yeah.
know what it
Memorize. Right.
memorize,
Memorize everything.
right? It will be, no, how can I use all the shared memory of the world,
Hmm.
extract the right context, and then implement it with other things.
So does it come to close to the third point that you were explaining? One was access, the
Yeah.
other one was
Quality, and then
quality,
there's
and the third
relevance.
is relevance.
No, I think this
So
is going to
education
be.
will become highly relevant to what I want to learn.
Yes,
Right?
I would say I don't think schools and colleges will teach you the relevance.
Like it will become
It,
more
but
personalized.
no, I think you will have to find relevance on your own.
So it will become more personalized, right? Like I'll have to use AI to make it more relevant to my style of learning.
To your context, to what you are
Hmm.
pursuing, and all
Yeah.
of that, right? So you can't. I think
Hmm.
it will be unfair to put the burden on the college to say that you have to teach me to become an AI professional
Hmm.
in marketing,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think that is a thing. They can teach you the concepts of marketing. They can teach you the tools available,
Hmm.
right? Available. But what they have to encourage, I think, people is to figure it out on their own,
Hmm.
right? You know the tools, you know how to use the tools. That's why I think one of the words that are floating around right now is you have to learn how to do prompt engineering,
Hmm.
right? It is not just asking the question, asking the right question
Yeah.
in the right context.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Learning how to almost be like a philosopher, right?
Yeah.
And they have to teach, I think, students, and not only them, even us as parents,
Hmm.
have to start not spoon feeding our kids. We have to tell them that, you have to learn to figure it out on your own. Just because you don't know,
Hmm.
right? I think you have to say that it's not that you don't know,
Hmm.
it's you're having trouble figuring it out,
Yeah.
right? Let me help you figure it out.
Hmm.
Don't give them the answer.
Correct.
This is where you have to go. This is what you have to do. So
Hmm.
it has to almost become like a facilitator.
Hmm.
Teacher will have to no longer be the
Person imparting the knowledge.
yeah, it
Yeah,
has
the
to be more
only
of
person
a
imparting knowledge. Because
correct.
earlier it was that this is your only source of knowledge, right?
It'll have,
And the books.
yeah, he'll have to be more like a guide, or the
Hmm.
teacher will, or she maybe have to be more like a guide, a
Hmm.
mentor,
Hmm.
telling them, okay, you do these things, you may encounter these challenges,
Hmm.
right? And this is the way to solve those challenges,
Yeah.
right? Rather than telling them this is the end goal, this is what I think fundamentally how AI will impact
Yeah.
the way learning will be imparted
Hmm.
across education system.
Yeah. So more multidisciplinary.
Or I hope at least.
Yeah, I agree. It will be because it will become more contextual, so more personalized, and also multidisciplinary, right? Because we learned so many things which we didn't know. Like how many times did anybody go and if they ever visited the pyramids and thought of trigonometry, right, as a subject? You wouldn't. Like I had this experience. I went to Taj Mahal, and uh, all the educators were there, and somebody started talking it from the geometry point of view, and how it creates an illusion that everything looks larger when it is not that. So
even like the font size, how it's bigger on top in Taj, and if you the gateway, right? And I love architecture from that perspective. Like the writings are small here and they go big
yeah,
in the tops, but it is done that way so that when you're standing and watching,
it looks like
it looks
symmetrical.
Same, it looks same font because
it looks symmetrical. It doesn't look like it's small and big, right? So, but that's what making it contextual, making it multidisciplinary, right? So if you're solving a problem from multiple angles and multiple subjects, I completely agree, and I also agree that prompt engineering, as the new word is extremely important because we were driving yesterday. Me and my wife were driving, and she said, uh, "That thing, did you say that to that person?" And I'm like, if I was Chat GPT, I would throw zero answers, right? I said, now you need to start talking to me as if you're talking to AI. Be explicit. I'll give you the correct answer, right? So, I think it's a skill because we are so used to talking to humans in a way that they understand our context and what we are trying to do. But with machine, maybe the way we speak to the machine will be something different.
And it happened, no? Like I remember, I saw it happen in my school lifetime, where before when I was in fourth, fifth, where whenever we had that EVS project, right, we had to do a research on, let's say, Rani, Jhansi Ki Rani. I had to go to a library, right, ask the librarian,
Yeah.
ये history की books कहाँ मिलेगी? Where will I get it?
Yeah.
Go there, find 2-3 books, read all the books
All the
to
books.
find
That
where it is.
few pages about
Yeah.
her, right?
And I was given time also. Ki you will take, you will submit it at the end of the month. To when I was in the 9th, 10th, it was like, okay, 1 week assignment. Everybody has access to the internet, right? Google कर लो, print out ले लो, चिपका लो, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I saw that happen in my schooling lifetime. So I think that will happen here, where now you have even a much more powerful
tool at your
available at
disposal,
your
yeah.
disposal, and people will have to learn how to use that tool. There is no kind of escaping it.
I think people like me in late 40s, 50s, they'll have a tough time.
I agree.
I see teenagers, even preteens, young children. We have a 6-year-old in the family, and we asked him something, and he said, "Ask Gemini."
Yeah.
And everybody knows ChatGPT, but Gemini was something that a
Yeah.
lot of people had not heard. And he said, hey, just ask Gemini. And so I think the younger generation. So you think that AI will help or facilitate preschoolers, schools?
I'm already seeing that happen. It's like it's also a little bit of a mindset. Like same example of with my daughter. I generally sometimes cook on weekends, and my daughter said, "Papa, can you cook me this?" Like, I don't know. I don't know. You can always YouTube and figure it out. No, like she's telling me that.
Yeah.
Right? And I have no answer to that.
Yeah. And
so you know that
she's what, 6, 7?
Yeah, she's going to turn 6 now, right?
Yeah. But it's amazing at that age.
Yeah.
You have the context that YouTube is not just to watch cartoons. It's there so that you can learn and make a dish.
But just that paradigm that nothing is unknown. Like I don't know
is a stupid answer.
Yeah, it's exactly
a stupid answer. Like how can my dad say something?
Even if you don't know, but it's like it's not like you don't know. It's like you're too lazy to go on YouTube, right? And figure it out.
Yeah.
And that is unacceptable. And I think that is going to become the standard expectation.
Yeah.
For school, everybody, the society.
Yeah.
That I don't know
is not the answer.
Is not the answer. You will be expected. You already have the tools. We in India are blessed with one of the cheapest broadbands in the world. Yeah. I think 96, 93% of India today is connected, right?
But that's a very high number.
High number, right? So there is no excuse for you to not know.
Yeah.
Right. So now the only limiting factor is your ability to figure it out. And
it's you as an individual.
Yeah, and because it's no longer now will take, I have to go talk to somebody, figure it out. It is instant.
It's in your hand. There's a mobile. Just say whatever you have to say and learn it.
So it was a kind of wake up moment for me. Like that is what the next generation of the workforce is going to be like. Right? I don't know will not be an acceptable answer. Because ChatGPT does know, Gemini knows, right? You just ask the right question and you come back. I think the right attitude will be, let me come back to you, right? Because the expectation will be that that's why I say you have to learn to learn.
Correct.
If you don't know something, the expectation is go fast, do your search, understand what it is very fast, and come back. Right? And that is going to be the big shift, I believe, which we need to prepare our entire generation for. And more importantly, we as older generation also will be forced to do that. Even though we may be slightly set in ways, I don't think we'll have the excuse either.
Yeah.
I don't think we can give age as an excuse.
I agree. But I think we've sort of spoken about everything and we stopped at the right. I mean, we've reached a very amazing point where you said there's no excuse if you have to learn and, everything is at your disposal. So we finished the serious part of the conversation. Now, in this round, what we try to do is get to know the other side of Gaurav, the, non-serious or the fun side. So let's start with a serious question that if not finance, then what career would you have chosen?
I don't think I would have chosen anything else. I'll be very honest with you. Like, I don't think I'm good at anything else. to be
Okay.
very honest. And that's one of the things that keeps me motivated also, is because I feel happy because I'm doing things that I actually love. So
Yeah.
if it was something else, I think it would have chosen me, because
Yeah.
that is what I'm getting.
But you also said creativity, right? You wanted to be
I
like
did.
a painter, singer. No, nothing like
I
that?
was decent at art, so I was always
Yeah.
on the creative side from that perspective. But getting good marks
Hmm.
in school killed that career
Okay.
path.
So,
So, but you know what? I don't regret it.
yeah. So
I
you
I
love finance. So,
I love not finance. I love what I'm doing right now.
okay.
Right, where not only the investing aspect of it,
Hmm.
but the education aspect of it. You
Hmm.
know, interacting with people like
People.
yourself and the other great entrepreneurs I meet across India as
Hmm.
well as Southeast Asia. How many
Nice.
people can say you get to do that? Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Meeting the great people who are solving things in Vietnam, in Indonesia,
Hmm.
in Philippines, and in India.
Okay.
Right?
So, in short, last, you meet all these interesting people. Last project that you heard of, which you can talk about, right? Which is not like a secret project, that you're really excited about, and you feel that, hey, this is nice, and somebody's doing this, and this is.
I'm starting to see like AI led learning platforms.
Hmm.
They're still in version 1,
Hmm.
right? But like it's telling you how people have learned to learn.
Hmm.
I think those platforms are something to keep an eye on,
Hmm.
where a person is expected to come in a classroom, because one of the biggest problems with learning online is if you're at home and nobody really wants to learn, right? Unless
Hmm.
they have to learn.
They are forced
It is
to.
not like watching a movie or
Hmm.
or Netflix or any kind of a web series, which
Yeah.
people want to do for fun, right?
Correct.
People are forced to learn. So you have to give them a little bit of a walled environment.
Hmm.
So once you're in that walled environment, now you're locked in. Now this platform
Hmm.
allows you takes you to the journey
Hmm.
of learning by you asking it questions,
Hmm.
giving you answers. It's okay, now you try this. Right? It does not give you the right answer, but tells you where you went wrong.
Hmm.
Right? And people are supposed to spend 2 hours, 3 hours with that platform.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm because in education it takes a long time, nothing is instantaneous.
Hmm.
And that is one of the big, I would say, insights
Yeah,
people
measuring
should
the outcome takes time.
outcome takes time. It is not instant gratification. You have to go
It's
through
not
a
like a
1 year,
game.
6 year
Right?
process.
It's not like a game that
Yeah.
you lost, you won, right?
So I'm waiting to see the efficacy results of that. But I thought that was something to keep an eye out on.
Okay, fair enough. One city that, if not Bombay, which other city would you'd love to live in, and why?
I don't know about that. I love Mumbai. I
Right.
was born and brought up here. I've traveled quite a bit,
Okay.
but Mumbai is always home. Um, I There are a lot of great cities in the world, but I don't think I would live anywhere, because you get the I like, and also because I like a little bit of chaos. Let's put it this way, right? Like I go to Singapore quite often and I love the city, but it is too organized for me. I like the hustle bustle. It breeds creativity a little bit, right?
No,
So,
I agree.
I like the attitude of Mumbai people also.
Yeah.
So it's just
No, I agree with you on this, because even if somebody would put a gun against my head and say choose a city, I'd say okay, I'd die in Bombay, no problem. So, one book that you read recently and you were really fascinated.
So I'll be very honest. I have not read a book, but my entire mode of consumption knowledge has become now podcasts and audiobooks.
So, any great podcasts where you've learned some cool stuff?
So I would say there are so many, but the problem is I don't follow one.
Okay.
There are some great episodes.
So
like
new
I
topic.
really like
topic.
watching. For some reason, I like Neil deGrasse Tyson whenever he speaks on anything like space and stuff like that. I absolutely. So I really like those super informative kind of podcasts, or then I like really silly, funny comedians doing things.
So here's the thing, right? I thought I was the only stupid one who reads physics for fun. I found another one, who likes to know about physics for fun, right? Because not a lot of people like. I mean, you come from a science background as well. I'm a commerce commerce grad. So,
Yeah.
but I love physics. I think it's very fascinating.
But if you just hear when he has to speak about different things, and again, you learn so many new concepts
Yeah.
about the world, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, it is. So tell us one fun fact about you that most people don't know.
So I don't know what other people don't know.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, but
I'm generally a pretty open person, at least with the people I know. But I yeah, sorry, I don't have a good answer.
You don't have a good answer for
I
this.
don't have a good
Okay.
answer for you on that one. I'm still a bit
Like, you may have another talent that most people don't know. Or you work for Raw secretly. That most people don't know.
No,
Nothing like that.
I think I don't have that skill set to work for Raw. I'm too honest with my views and opinions. I'm a little bit of a introverted from a perspective, although it may not seem. But
Outroverted. That's what is the new term is to describe.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
So you become mostly you're introverted, but when you have to be extroverted, you don't mind, right? If you're forced to.
Yeah, so it's a learned skill. But okay, I can give you a fun fact about me. I'm actually a trained disk analysis person, which basically means that I can do a little bit of it's an international test, not a secret test, right? But it's a 10-minute test I can do, and I can figure out what motivates you, not having ever met you, right? What your fears are, what your motivators are, and I can be 99% accurate.
Oh, wow.
On that. Again, this is how nerdy it is. That rather than doing it to say I am some Baba, but listen, there is a objective test which I can administer to you, and within 15 minutes tell you about who you are.
Did you try that when you first met?
I'll do it with you separately, but it's an objective. It's a written test.
Oh, it's a written test. Oh, I thought you can talk to people and
I can figure it out a little bit. So I do have some sense of that.
Yeah.
I'm not as good on that front. I'm still learning.
But written tests you can figure it out.
Yeah, within 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I do that openly. In fact, I tell them also, listen, I will tell you about this. I will tell you how I will manipulate you also on those things, but you will not be able to resist it because it is hardwired in our brain. So me telling you I'm going to do this you will still not be able to kind of
interesting
block it. Yeah, so
interesting. I definitely want to.
I'll do that with you.
What's your go-to productivity hack?
Okay, so what I have noticed is a great productivity hack, and this came in a little later, was first, and a lot of people do this. One is I always have Chat GPT by default open. Right, no matter we work on two screens, so one screen Chat GPT by default open. That's like my assistant over there, and I think now they are voice enabled also, so you don't need to type anything that's coming to there are tools there where you just talk to your computer and it will just give you this. It's like how in Iron Man, you have Jarvis. It is nearly coming to
almost
that.
There.
Almost, it's heading in that direction.
Nice.
That I think that ability to have a voice virtual assistant give you real-time stuff on contextual stuff that you're doing, not just turn on music.
Yeah.
I think is one of the best productivity hacks. Like I tell them, okay, draft me an email with these points, that this is the outcome for this person. Right?
Wow.
And it does it, just copy paste, done. So I encourage, that's why I'm saying we have to learn to use these tools.
Yeah,
and it has become so powerful where forget having to type things. You can just tell it things and it doesn't need to be perfect. It understands how to make it perfect. You can give it broken instructions and it will be fine. So I think that's something that everybody should do. Have it open always.
Yeah. And
then use that voice command.
So superb. That was the end of our rapid fire. It was slightly longer, but I think it was very interesting and informative. Thank you, Gaurav, for coming to this podcast, talking about the sector in general. What true education is. You changed my thinking that it's learning and not just education is a more older way of looking at it. thank you very much for coming to Education Matters by JK. And hopefully, we'll call you again because I think we have a lot of things to talk about and we haven't covered in this podcast.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to do this. I'm always happy to share information, knowledge. That's the industry we are in.
Yeah.
We have to kind of give back as much as
True.
we can. So always happy to share at least my learnings.
Thank you. And that's the end of our podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.